Guys, I know that Julian is not happy to speak about this, but there was something yesterday which was directly some points what we were talking earlier during the day. So first of all, I have one question for a winning coach. We were talking about majority playing yesterday and decision making and perhaps decisions that who will let score and so on. It was 54-minute played when I heard that you were screaming, let the wing shoot, the wing shot and scored. And just for curiosity, why you selected that wing is allowed to shoot?
My wing?
Yeah. No, you were a minority.
Yeah. Because it's kid.
Yeah.
I think the shoot for him with the less experience with this time.
Yeah.
And it's my choice to tell him, give him to shoot.
Okay, so that was his choice. Until that, he scored 100%. All the shots he scored, even that shot. So that was I was asking. But this is the mentality and thinking about how coaches are thinking, because that was actually the best scorer of the white team yesterday, and you let him to take that decision in quite crucial moment when it was still, they had still a bit small chance. But it's good example how we are thinking as a coaches differently. I couldn't agree that one as a coach, but we have our own opinions. And one other thing which was really like we were talking about yesterday was the moment. Of course, we were not talking about 7 against 6 play. We were talking about the minority defense and how the structure of the game is changing if somebody has 6 and somebody 5, because the team who is playing majority is slow at the game nowadays and almost standing and one guy making decision. And then the team with the minority, with the 5 players, they start to work really much more active. What happened yesterday, end of the game, when you started with 7 against 6, they increased with the 6 guys defense. The tempo was extremely high on that moment, and you played those moments really well. But that also shows that what happens when if you have a minority in defense, defenders start to work much harder. We were watching the game with Ruben, and after you had first attack 1 minute 30 seconds something, you scored, and then your team came with 15 seconds and scored. And after these 2 attacks, I was thinking that the white team will take this game with 10-12 goals, because the quality looked much different. But this is sport, and like I said earlier, I think yesterday was really quite much about the mental thing. The other team was thinking, this is my point of view, I looked at how the players were warming up and standing there. They were thinking, perhaps, you know it better, that this will be easy game, and other one didn't have nothing to lose. So I think this was a mental loss, but this is just my opinion. I don't want to talk this more. I know that you don't have good feelings in your team at the moment, but this is handball. But
it was interesting what we speak about last minute. I think this is good issue. Maybe you want to keep it for later, but.
Yeah, you when you took time out.
Because we discussed about this, I didn't agree with you.
Yeah, the last time out.
What people think here, it can be nice for this.
Yeah, your last time out, because we were talking just before that. They took one-man personal defense, and then you had the ball, and I said to Ruben when you took time out, if I was you, I will keep the goalkeeper a couple seconds on the court after timeout and watch if they take one personal and put the 7 players to the court. Because in your situation, I knew that you don't have nothing to lose. So
I think about this, but I choose not to.
yeah, because they had already problems with.
I want to explain also in Hebrew if it's possible that we will tell them, okay? You understand what?
But that was just my opinion.
תראו, מה שהיה שם, אחד הפרש לנס ציונה, והייתה דקה לסיום, בדיוק דקה, ברמת השרון יצאו ללחוץ את כל הקבוצה. וקייל אומר לי, אני במצב הזה, מוציא את השוער, מכניס שחקן, למרות שהוא לא אוהב את זה, אבל זה הסיטואציה שהוא כן עושה את זה. למה? כי יש פה אישית לכל שחקן, ברגע שאני מכניס שחקן שביעי, אני לא יכול להמשיך עם האישית. אני אמרתי לו, אני לא עושה את זה. אני לא עושה את זה כי יש דקה, אני מוביל אחד, ואני יכול לקבל גול תוך 5-10 שניות, ויש 50 שניות של שוויון, אני יכול לעשות את המשחק בדקה. אני לא עושה את זה במצב הזה, אבל זה שתי גישות מאוד שונות ומעניינות. אוקיי, אז הוא אמר, כאילו, מה שהוא הסביר פה זה שהוא היה מחכה, אומר לשוער לחכות ליד הקרוב לחילוף, לראות מה קורה, וכמה שניות, ואז לעשות את החילוף הזה. אבל אני חושב שעוד הפעם, זה מבחינתי, בלי לפגוע בשחקנים, מי שעדיין שחקן פה, שזה עומרי, בלי לפגוע בשחקנים, אני חושב שזו דרישה גבוהה מדי בשביל הרמה של השחקנים פה בארץ. אולי באשדוד, רמת השרון אולי לא, שזה קבוצה יותר מקצועניות נגיד, אבל אני חושב שלבוא לשחקנים לדרוש מהם שינויי חשיבה כאלה מהירים תוך שניות, זה משהו שמאוד קשה להצליח.
זה גם אחד הפרש ודקה לסוף, כאילו זה גם...
אני מבחינתי גם לא הייתי עושה, אבל עוד הפעם, הרעיון שהוא מעלה, הרעיון שקאי העלה הוא רעיון ממש מעניין. Okay, I said that, you also said, I said that I would not do that, but the idea, what you said, is very interesting idea. Interesting to speak about this, to think about this. For example, this is like, we build together the situation. I build the master coach and the subject for today. Exactly after tomorrow, this is exactly like we prepare it together, you know. Let's see this situation, because this is exactly the situation to think if we are doing that or not doing that.
Listen, about this last attack, one goal for Ashdod, a championship game, we call time out. Before this, Ramat Hasharon start to go in pressing outside. We call time out, said listen, if he continue to play pressing, Milan stay here, close to the line, wait. If he go outside in the pressing, outside 7 player. Inside. If he come back, go on the goal.
Yeah.
And
yes.
And that was I was thinking.
But this is what I said in a team that they train a lot, that the players are in say other level, you can do that. But in a team, without taking something from Nes Tziyona, but this is not the same kind of very young players. It's not the same kind of level. To do that, to give them to change thinking so much, in so big pressure, it's not so easy.
רגע, אז מה היה בסוף?
בסוף בתקופה הזאת, רמת השרון ירדו, אחרי רמת השרון ירדו להגנה רגילה, והם הפקיעו גול ונהיה 32, נהיה שני שערי הפרש.
זאת אומרת, רמת שרון בעצם ירד מהלחץ.
נכון.
אז הוריד את המסלמה.
לא ירדו מהלחץ, ירדו מללחוץ. הלחץ היה כאן כל הזמן.
לא, אבל ירדו מהשבירת לחץ, בעצם הדילמה שלו נגמרה.
נכון.
But yeah, these are interesting things to talk about, but your mind decision, we don't know. It's easy to be coach when you are on spectator place, it's easy to say, but winning coach is now there, so his choice was correct.
Outside everybody come inside.
Okay guys, I think we have, time is running and there is a next lecture coming in, so we jump into the topic, using goalkeeper substitution to create advance and equality. We talk more about the advance because equality is 6 against 6 and it's actually a couple of rules what we just need to remember if we take goalkeeper out. First I want to show you some statistic. Women's Euro, which was played just some weeks ago. And actually, after that, European Handball Federation published a little bit more statistic as the men's one. And from that statistic, I found also information about the 7 against 6. Of course, this is a female, which is not completely the same as men's, but some of you are female coaches, so we should look this as well, not only the men's one. But I believe now that when they published it first time from female handball, we will get it from the men's Euros, hopefully from World Cup as well. Some similar information. I took there the top 4 teams because it was much more easier to take the stats. Of course, there was as well one game missing from database, but we should look perhaps the averages here. So Norway was the winner of the competition, Denmark second, and Montenegro and France. So average time per game to take goalkeeper out. I don't mean just the 7 against 6 situation, also 6 against 6 or 5 against 6, whatever situations. But this is the average per time. So quite a big difference of average if we're thinking about the winning team Norway comparing the 3 other ones. I have not had chance to talk with the coach and ask about his opinion, but he's really, if even here is 1 game missing, but that's the average, so he's clearly using that less than the other ones. So, but that shows also that there is a difference between the coaches and thinking about to using 7 against 6. If I have had my statistic from my last season with Riihimäki, for example, from the Finnish league, below this one.
For example, Russian women team on Olympic game, when he take Olympic, he don't use 1 time. He don't change goalkeeper 1 time.
Yeah.
I forget now, brain is stuck in, I forget the name of coach,
Treville, yeah.
Treville. He
Yeah.
don't use 1 time, 7 games.
No, but he has this one, so he's keeping the players moving without, you don't need to do that. This is a little bit, so 7 against 6 situations. Denmark was definitely using most of those, and Montenegro was a little bit more with 6 against 6 situations, so make the equality there. But yeah, huge difference here as well. And this is then the scoring effectivity, which is actually quite interesting to look. If we just look, for example, Denmark, which is using the most, 7 against 6, just 52%. So we can say that it's more or less on the normal level of scoring. So not at least the higher level. So they didn't get benefit so much to play 7 against 6, and first time in my 37 years as a coach, first time I was looking a lot female handball, because I have been involved in men's handball. I was looking this competition every evening, at least 1 game. I was on the place to look the final weekend and so on. So when I was thinking about the Denmark and using so much 7 against 6 and the result didn't give any better, I was asking from myself why they did use so much, because they got the same result playing 6 against 6. But that's, of course, I should have chance to ask from the coach why you are using so much, but you don't get any extras out of that. So. But quite interesting figures, and then if we compare then 6 against 6, then the numbers are completely different. Like you see here as well, much bigger 6 against 6 than 7 against 6.
If you ask me 7 and 6, don't need to be alone.
Yeah, that's.
Killing to him. Killing.
But then if we are looking how many goals was done against them during this amount of attacks, this is not big amount. This is quite few goals what when they were playing without goalkeeper, what was scored against them. So that's, I was really surprised to look these figures. It's extremely low, because we know we can see games where it's in 1 game coming 5 empty goals, because some of the coaches are really sticking to play the 7 against 6 and they take the risk. But this is the whole tournament, so not too bad. Even the scoring percentages was not high. This is, of course, I wanted to look as well because there was information about in which period of how long they managed to play the attack, but we don't get actually answer about how long you managed to play 7 against 6 because there is all the times between or without goalkeeper. So, but we can say that quite short. If we don't manage to play without goalkeeper, of course it depends what is why we are playing without the goalkeeper. Do we need to score or some other reasons? But below 30 seconds, it's the biggest part of the attacks, which is quite short. Because very often we play the minority, so we have the 2 minutes penalty. We take goalkeeper out, and we should play time as much as we can, but still its bigger share is below 30 seconds, so which means that it can be that it's the new rules, that hand is coming up quite quickly, but then otherwise, like I mentioned that last week when I was watching the Champions League, 35 seconds easily without any movements because of player change and things, so but it's quite short from my point of view. Okay, then using the goalkeeper substitution. Why we decide to play 7 against 6? Of course, I should do like this. Why you decide to play 7 against 6? What are your reasons?
We don't play one attack in year and half. So
Okay.
Or passivated defense, or try to make more shoot from clear position, make penalty or something like this, or open shooter, or to if you have good like Hercelia, Vladica Stojanovic, man who see from 6 possibility, he sees 7. It's but usually to passivated defense.
Change return.
Okay.
And you have situation, for example, like Croatia before 3 or 4 years, last competition with Lino Červar, he had semi-final, he controlled game and he decided to play 7 or 6 and lose on empty goal. Decide without reason. Probably he knows something what we don't know from the television, but
I think it's a good opportunity for my team. If I need, I can bring another extra player in the court and maybe I can get a better situation to score. But also I think that we don't need to use it all the time. In my opinion, we need to use it when it's necessary. Of course, maybe there is a game that I can practice this, that I have an easy game, so I can use it more only to practice this, but usually I think that we need to use it when it's necessary.
depend of women or men handball because of body and this court it's same, but women body it's almost double bigger than women. How much space takes 6 player, man player on the field? 7, you lose space on the 6 meter, you lose 1-on-1, you lose wide of the court, everything. For me, I don't see reason to play 7 or 6, and I never play. And in the future, I never.
Yeah, it seems like that it's not popular among you guys.
No, only for me. I never tell that my opinion is right opinion, but it's mine. I love.
No, it's, there is no right and wrong.
No.
There is no right and wrong for sure. In any part of handball.
It's just my opinion about 7 or 6. Change goalkeeper to make equality on the court, for me it's great. But even in this, how much change when he change rules for marker? Then goalkeeper, then marker need to change with goalkeeper. In this moment you have a lot of special attack for this moment. Now not. I play regular, when I don't have goalkeeper, I play regular, just it's important who change, 1, 2 or 3. Who give pass, he need to change, if wing, usually wing need to change, if wing shoot, he change, if he give pass, he change, and that's it. Now it's easy.
Okay. 6 against 6 is not enough. perhaps that we want to play longer and more controlled attacks, because normally what happens, the defense goes to 6-0. We see a little bit 5-1, very rarely something else. But when they go 6-0 with 2 pivot, we have better control because they stay much more passive in defense. The movements are more or less inside of 9-meter area what the defense is doing. So that can be one reason. And of course, for example, this is the only part where I used normally that end of period, end of the game, where I can put perhaps the 7th player for some reason. Yeah, so those. I even had a concept where my players knew that we don't even need the timeout that the last happened. I just showed them by hand that goalkeeper is coming, and they knew what we were doing and how much it takes time, because we measured it with watch that, okay, this movement will take 25 seconds. So and that we did. And of course, this is something what people, not all of us are thinking, but with 7 against 6, you can give a little bit rest for your back players, because they are not running so much. They are playing close to the defense. So if you don't manage to substitute them, that you need to keep them court, you can use this as a little bit rest in the players, because today's what we are going through in training, practical training in afternoon. It's one way to play 7 against 6, and it's really close to the defense and so on. So you can save a little bit energy. I don't know if people are thinking this.
But sorry, now Julian, I want to ask them. He is goalkeeper. How this sprint 20 meter to go outside, to go inside, to go outside, how disturb concentration and focus of goalkeeper?
I need to be in shape. I need to practice on this. I need to be in shape.
Yes, but last time when we speak about this, when Zanotti worked, you tell me then you don't love. You must. Then you don't love to change. Like
no,
goalkeeper.
I never said this. I never said this.
No?
I like 7 minutes. Sorry. I have no problem as a player to go to switch, to change, and I think that
This is
again, it's not. It can't be all the game. With Tori, I cannot make this.
no, but for
so
example,
much, but
this or Arpad Sterbik or goalkeeper like
okay,
this.
yeah, this is
If we take statistic, how much goalkeeper injury hamstring in this kind of unusually movement for goalkeeper, this is same statistic what we need to take.
Yeah, but this is also true that if they don't change the rules according to 7 against 6, that they banned it, we need to have completely different style of goalkeepers for the future. That's for sure, because we know that Arpad Sterbik or some other ones, they were not capable.
Emil Nilsson now, great goalkeeper, he needs 10 seconds.
Yeah, but he can't run 60 minutes.
So
that's for sure. Yeah, that's the thing.
Maybe in this time I can put other goalkeepers. It's much faster and.
Yeah, runner. But what we need to play 7 against 6. I was mentioned yesterday already. Basically, we need 3 playmakers, because we don't need shooters, distance shooters for play to 7 against 6. That's not 7 against 6 play if you want to do it correct way. So we don't need to have 3 playmakers from position-wise on the squad, but we need to have players who understand what they need to do in this situation, 7 against 6. So it's the movements are so small, and they mainly the back players are playing the pivot or the next guy position, and then the breakthroughs. No distance shot is part of. There's no official book about this, but we should not think about the distance shot when we are playing 7 against 6. We need good scorers, of course, the wings and the pivots. They have a really big role of this, because the back players, they are just playing, keeping really fast tempo and looking the mistake of the defense. Looking the small pace for the pivot or then plays for the wing. That's the first option to do the things. And this is answer for your question. We need to have fast and fit goalkeepers. If we think 6 meter line and 6 meter line, that's 28 meter running. If we think goalkeeper and substitution bench, it's at least a 20 meter to run. It depends where the goalkeeper is starting. So we for the future, if this rule continues, that we can use that, we need to coach, physical coaching need to be same for the goalkeepers and for the players. Because there is a lot of running, and like the question was there here, that how much is disturbing the concentration of the goalkeeper to run back and forward. And for sure it's disturbing if you are not fit. But only the goalkeepers can answer for this.
I have theory that goalkeeper is king of the handball. This is my theory. And if goalkeeper is not good and not happy, nothing works. That's it. And for me, my opinion, that we not need to disturb them too much for some stupidness. This is, again, I tell, sorry, I make fans bored.
No, it's...
Same question here. Left-hander or right-hander on right back?
Yeah, it's coming here as well. It's coming here as well. But no, it's this is the most educating thing in these kind of courses. When I went 2016, the master coach, the best thing was not all the lectures what we got. The best thing was the communication between the coaches.
I think that another important point here is the player that come to change. It's supposed to come on time, not too late.
We will come to this as well.
Okay.
Some principles to play 7 against 6. Be sure that you have the right material to play this. You can't play, the white team can't, sorry, the names are so difficult for me. The white team can't play with 3 Ivan Mosic, 7 against 6. Not working. So we need to have, in every position, also the pivots and wings, players need to have patience, especially the back players, because those 3 guys are the decision makers, and they need to make the right decision. They need to have confidence. And where you get the confidence? 2 things. You train enough, and then even the most important thing is that you are successful with this when you do that. Then you are confident. If you do it once before the game and you go to game and try to win with this, then it's pure luck, not confidence and these things. Play as close to defense as you can. This is for the back players. If you have long distance, like you mentioned, especially with the men's handball, there is 6 guys big like refrigerators, and there is no space. They have more time to move. If you have close, they have 2 pivots. They just make the small steps trying to get. They keep them mainly inside of 9 meter area, and we need to look those spaces. If we have a distance, we are looking a little bit longer. They have more time to move, control the game, and for sure no space. So this is really important. And like I already mentioned, that we can save some energy here as well, save players, with less movement, but the ball tempo need to be extremely high. Because with the ball tempo, we get the small moments to find the pivot or the wing, which is the main task. First option, my opinion, always the wing or pivot. Of course, if we have these Modric or these guys who can do whatever with the ball, let them do that. But we don't have all of those players in our own squads. Fake passes, that's really important. I will have I will show you just passing exercise where we'll have all these fake pass first. That's for the back players. You are not just playing the ball. You make always some showing that the defender is taking the small step back, a little bit out of balance, and then you continue. That's really important. And that's also, even we are talking about simple thing, but that's also what we need to learn our players to do. Then we were talking a little bit about the mental about yesterday's game, but here we need to be mentally prepared that the mistake is not a catastrophe, because mistakes happens. There will be empty goals for sure, and that's also, we need to know in what level we are. If we are talking about I believe Israel and Finnish female handball, quite a lot of mistakes in offense, but also not good shooters to long distance shot to the goal. Perhaps it balanced a little bit out, but you can't play with all the teams 7 against 6 because of they are not so sure with ball. Like yesterday's group, demonstration group here, really unsure with the ball. A lot of mistakes with the pass. You couldn't even think to play 7. Oh, somebody can, but I couldn't think to play 7 against 6 with them. So we need to know that there will be empty goals. And I have a rule for my goalkeepers that they are allowed to make the long shot if they in the practice every week make 5 goals a row directly from old goal area, that it's flying directly to the net, not bouncing. If they do always it 5 times, then they are good enough. If they don't do 4, I say you are not allowed. So that's my for goalkeeper. Because if you do it 5 times and it's flying directly, that 6 square meter area is good enough. Then you do it. But goalkeepers who can't, don't do that. And this is also a big question. At least when we make decision what style of 7 against 6, what we try to achieve in our game, what is our system, have a lot of to do if it's left-handed or right-handed. The system, what we do today, it's mainly for to having right-handed player on that position. We can have left-handed as well, but then the starting position is different, and it's a different task what they try to do. But we focus today to that one. Then already Julian was mentioned about the substitution. First of all, all the players need to know the timings, when I should go. Because today, when we are not marked anymore with the old system, who else can run out? So all the players need to be prepared. They need to understand that now the pass went to the pivot. They don't need to look if he scores or not scores. The closest one needs to work out in meanwhile already. And that's something I
think also we need to build the movement that it will finish on the, for example, if we change on left side, we need to build the movement that will finish it on right side. Then we have few options that player can go out.
Yeah, that's
especially if we do it when we are 5 against 6,
yeah,
and we add one more player.
5 against 6 is different. My opinion is that's different. If you look this one, 7 against 6, I feel that we can play in both sides. We don't have a difference because there is enough players to change. Even one is running out, it's still 6 against 6 situation to the other team. So, but that's different. I have mentioned here as well that if we are majority and 6 against 6, then we should have decision that it's far away. But because the coaches we coaches, we are not stupid. If we are following what the other team is doing, we are preparing our team to the next game, we see that always that guy on that moment is running out. Like yesterday, your team had a situation where you took sixth player on the, oh no, was that seventh player, but on certain moment he was running out already and goalkeeper substitution. So, but if we prepare our teams to the next game, we know that they are doing this, then we can train so that we know the moment when the guy is disappearing and we have the pressure in defense in the right side. So that's why 7 against 6, I prefer that we are ready to play all the different solutions, and then just the other ones need to read that now it's the time that I need to go. When we play the pass to the wing, somebody needs to be already out. Even the wing has not jumped yet, but he's on the way to that movement. Then we manage to change the goalkeepers. And all of us, we need to be ready to run back. That's what's happening very often, that half of the team is looking at if he's scoring or not. Don't use that 1 or 1.5 second for that, because with 1.5 second you run, what, 6-7 meters already. And we are talking about 28 meters from line to line, from the middle. So take that second for you to run back. And goalkeepers, when they go to substitute, they can't sit there and drink and talk with somebody. They need to have a focus. They need to be focused to the game as well, to be ready to run out. Very often you see that they are sitting down and talking, and then substitution coming out, and they lose half second, 1 second because they are not ready. And yeah, that I mentioned earlier that we need to mentally manage that, prepare that they can score to the empty goal as well. Just quickly, we are out of time already. Some samples I will show. Kiel, which is perhaps the worst example. I don't mean worst, they are effective with this, but the example which is using a lot. So much that it's quite boring already see the games, but they have several options, and 2 weeks ago I saw first time when they have 3 pivots.
Last year with Paris Saint-Germain in Champions League, he played in Paris with 3 people.
Okay, of course I don't see all the games, but these are the basic ones. This one, what I saw couple weeks ago when the playmaker is going in as a 3rd pivot, and in these situations, of course, they are trusting quite much the shooters. When they go 3 pivots, the shooters are coming with quite heavy tempo in, so they have a little bit different philosophy on those moments. This is, you mentioned Croatia, Duvnjak, and pivots between 2 and 3 both sides. And only one decision maker, middle here. Was this good or not? We don't need to talk about that, but that's also a different, completely different. And decision was clearly made left or right, so same basics for both sides. Then there is some, you know, these basic pivot crossings and other pivot moving other side things. And the last one here is what we build from small pieces to build up today in the demonstration training. We take one example. This is quite effective. I will go through step by step how you can build this up. Even not me and not you are interested, but this was one of the topics, so we do this. What we can expect from the other team? Mainly they go 6-0, mainly. and they play closer to the 6-meter line than in normal situation. Why? Because there is 2 pivots. They don't want to leave space, and that's why we can go quite close and play to them as well. You can see a little bit 5-1. Some rare moments I have been seeing 3-2-1 in international top-level handball, but not so successful. There was some team was playing a little bit in the men's Euro. I'm not sure if it was Croatia or somebody. But some team was playing a little bit, but no success. No, I think it was Germany perhaps. Yeah, and this one for the goalkeepers, and that's my 5 of 5 rule that
Sorry, I must disturb you.
No.
Now you tell them people is not interested. I'm not interested. In Israel people play a lot 7-on-6. Even my own play, I don't know now with Ramat Hasharon, but last year with Apoel he play a lot. Herzliya play 50 minutes a game 7-on-6. This year not, but people play 7-on-6.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah.
People use 7-on-6.
Yeah, let's see what's happening after this course. You never know. Okay, if we think about what can the defense, how they can react in 6-0 defense, all the teams which are studying the defense 6 against 7, mainly to do that, we try from the far side second one, taking the playmaker and making the risk from other side. That's the normal action. In 5-1, basically we try to play 3 against 3 in this side, and if he is going against, then the number 1 is dropping in, and again the risk in other side. That's the normal movement what I see, what defending teams are preparing. And that's also something, if we start to play 7 against 6, what we should consider, that this can be the movement against us. Is this something for juniors? Julian is shaking hand. Ahead.
Depends. If you want him to know it in some moment, you need to start earlier. No, I will not say 12, 13, but
yeah, maybe before they went to the senior team, the last year.
it depends what the senior coach asks us as junior coaches.
Any other? Yeah, it's this is an interesting question, and I think 7 against 6 is ruining the basic handball, and like I said, there is big demands for the players. Like team like yesterday, they can't play 7 against 6, and they were already national team players. So my opinion, personal opinion, is that no. And I hope that before today's juniors are adults, this rule is banned. But let's see. I will just quickly, to create equality, I made my master coach thesis about playing without goalkeeper. This was 2016 with old rule with the West. And why I started to interest about this topic, it was that 2016 in Köln, Final 4, final, Veszprém was running 13 minutes left with 7 goals. 2 minutes penalty, he takes goalkeeper out. 1 goal scored, then they lost 2 balls, and still he continued to the end of the game to take always the goalkeeper out. They only lost 1 empty goal during that 13 minutes. But they lost easy balls and they lost the head. And extra time, we all know what was the result. But that's why I start to be interested and make a big study about this, that why he was doing this. And
But in moment and he control defense. And Vesprem play amazing defense and Kielce have problem to score goals 6-on-6. He start to play without goal.
Yeah, but in as a coach, 30 minutes plus 7, why you take risk with empty goal?
Exactly.
Because when I saw you the statistic, I made every second of every game the last final 4 teams from the quarter-final to the last moment. And the statistics is quite dramatic. I visited Vesprem in June, and I was speaking with Ilic and Gulas, who is the second coach and who played at that time, and with Nagy. And I say that I made my master thesis because of you. And they were listening to me and they say, really? Was that so? Of course they remember badly that final when they played. But at that time we had the extra color. There was on those teams there was 87 attacks and only half of the attacks was played without goalkeeper. When you have other attacks was played 5 against 6 purely. This is from my thesis. And if we just look at that time with those rules, the passes, if the normal 6 against 6, the passes average was here 10. And then if they played with goalkeeper 5 against 6, it was 10. But if they had without goalkeeper, they managed to play 16 passes during one attack. Of course, the passive rule was not so strict 2016 what's today. So big difference about passes. Here, this is Kiel, 12 normal 5 against 6, without goalkeeper 18 again. So big difference. At that time, when we changed the goalkeeper out with the different color, it was more concepted what's happening, and the referees were accepting that. Shooting percentages. The biggest was Paris, which didn't play at all without goalkeeper. They played 5 against 6 and they had the highest scoring percentage. Of course, can be quality of the players, but Vesprem, Kielce and Kiel, not bad teams, not bad players neither. But this study showed that at that time, with that rule, there was no benefit to take goalkeeper out. Technical mistakes. More technical mistakes without goalkeeper, more without goalkeeper. Kielce was less without goalkeeper, and Vesprem much more without goalkeeper. Technical mistakes. And 2016 started to be the worst period to start to use. From 2016 this has been extremely, and especially now with the new rule that anybody can run out, it's changing the key points for this: more stress, 7 against 6 and attack without goalkeeper, because defense can be easily more aggressive, like we saw yesterday. It was really good example. I don't know if you recognize that when you saw it from TV, but the last attacks which you tried, they started to move like hell, and actually they played a modern version of 6-0 defense that coming out there, what the white team was not doing. So, but really the effectiveness and agility there was much higher. We need to use this 6 against 6 to play time if we take goalkeeper out, nothing else. That should be the main task. And of course, yesterday I was talking about then how much we will give, how many chances we want to give to them. Then about the issue which came there, that we need to have more precise system when we are playing 6 against 6 without goalkeeper. Then I prefer as well that not the bench side is But that's also then for the defense is much more predictable if they have been studying your way to do it. But I prefer that as well because it's more safe. Yeah, it's mentioned here. And this is for sure risk way to play, much more risk than 7 against 6. We are already out of time, and these are unnecessary things, the 6 against 6 system, so we don't use any time for downstairs for those. So, any comments for these topics? You had a lot of good comments already. And
I believe the referee help you when you play 7 against 6. I believe you take more foul that maybe you don't take it if it's 6 against 6.
7 against 6 in the side.
Yeah, they keep you. They don't want the artillery goal. They give you the ball.
I
don't like it, but it's true.
That can be. We were yesterday talking that I was mentioning that it seems like that the referees are not. They don't even think about this. But like yesterday's game, when in the beginning of the game, I think the betting was so much here for the other team and so much here for the second team, and they sort of automatically little bit in some situation help with the weaker team. Nevertheless, I saw a lot of protests yesterday, but my opinion is that there was nothing wrong with the goalkeepers yesterday.
With the referees.
With the referees, sorry. So I don't know. The red cards were red cards. There is always small situations, but that can be something that in 7 against 6 as well.
Yeah.
The mentally, even they don't think it, but they.
We'll give you another foul.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Listen, if you watch a lot of handball, for example, you have Croatian team 2017 on World Cup.
Yeah.
Croatian team with Jelko Babic, he played with big pivot between 1 and 2,
Yeah.
big pivot between 4 and 5 because he have only big pivot. And what
Yeah.
happens? He start attack. In moment when he start attack, this pivot go out without to be danger on the goal.
Yeah.
And what other team try to make? He move defense, give them to go. And what he made? He press other side of the court. He close best right wing in this moment on the world, even Čupić and forward in small angle. He lose game. Slovenia against Croatia for 3rd place. It's maybe best tactically handball game ever. If somebody were this game, Veselin Vujović against Željko Babić, how defend Slovenia defends 7-6. Example how people need to defend 7-6.
We need to take a time out. Thank you guys. It's hopeful. So you lost your break.